Hi guys, I thought today I would do the my first time tag. Not done a tag before and no one has actually tagged me, no YouTube friends, boo. But I just thought I would do it, a little bit of fun, and hey, if you're out there watching, maybe you want to know these things. So let's start off. First tweet. Now I can look this up because there's a website that enables you to do so, so let's have a quick shufty. At 5:25 AM on the 3rd of April 2009, I wrote, "I'm getting to grips with this nonsense." So yeah, okay, nice work. First YouTube video. My first video was the welcome to YouTube tag that I did probably a couple of months ago now. The first video that I watched, if that's what it means, I could not tell you. It's probably a cat doing something adorable, or maybe one of Tom from McFly's first videos, because I think he was one of the first people I subscribed to, which is the next question. Yeah, I think he was probably the first person. For a while I just watched the odd random video, and if someone said, "Oh, go check this video out," I'd go and do that. But I think the first person I actually went, "Oh, I need to see everything they put up," was probably Tom Fletcher. First Facebook profile picture. Now I know this without looking it up, but I will ding picture here. I was on holiday in Tenerife with my friends. We were quite tipsy and we thought that it would be ideal to put a flower behind my ear, and actually it's not even behind my ear, there's a man behind me holding the flower there. It's stupid, but it made us laugh at the time. Do I still talk to my first love? First love. If we're talking about a childhood crush, then no, I absolutely do not. It was a guy I used to go to school with. His name was Dan, and I must have been about 13, maybe, something like that. He was just in my form room and I thought he was nice. I don't know why. I mean, he's on Facebook, I've seen him. I don't know what I thought was nice about him, but whatever. What was my first alcoholic drink? What was it? It was probably Malibu and lemonade. That's really all my mother drinks, so I imagine I tried one of hers when I was growing up. I can't really remember, to be honest. I've had many more since then. What was my first job? I stuck up Skittles in a Skittle alley when I was about 16, 15, maybe 15, and then shortly after that I worked in a cafe, and once I managed to fall down some steps. There was like 3 steps that I managed to fall down while holding a whole tray. Thankfully the food and drinks had been eaten, it was just empties and dirty stuff that I was carrying down to the kitchen to wash, and I fell down the steps and it was really embarrassing, and all the customers were of an older generation, shall we say, and they all made hilarious comments like, "Oh, send me a postcard next time you go on a trip," and hilarious things like that. So yay, first jobs, how exciting. What was my first car? I have never had a car. I can't drive. I had some lessons and I didn't really like it. I have had a moped. My first one was a lovely Honda and it got stolen and I was very fuming. Who was the first person to text me today? Ooh, let me see. It would have been my friend Heather. Sent me a message about a train journey we're planning soon. We needed to sort our timings out, so she texted me about that at about 6 AM or something. Let's see, what was the next message? Next question. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? Well, if we're talking past midnight, it was probably my work colleague that I was doing my shift with. Who was my first grade teacher? I don't know what year first grade is, being English, but I'm going to go ahead and assume I'll just do my year 1 teacher, which means I would have been about 4. Is that first grade? I don't know. And that was Mrs. Colston, I think her name was. Or Coulson, or Colton, that might have been it. She was really lovely. I did not like the teacher I had after her. Where did I go on my first plane ride? First flight I went to Tunisia. I was about 15, 16. It was alright, didn't love it. We didn't really leave the hotel very much because it wasn't in a great area, the hotel, so whenever you went outside there wasn't a lot to do, and it was just a bit weird, so we just stayed in the hotel and topped up our tan for a couple of weeks. Who was your first best friend and do you still talk? First best friend, I had a couple. There was a few that children that I would have met when I was about 4. Met them all at the same sort of time. We all went to playgroup together, and no, don't really speak to either of them anymore, or any of them anymore I should say, because there was a couple of really like close ones, but there was other ones as well in the same sort of group. No, I moved house when I was about 13, 14 it must have been, and just lost contact with them all. We didn't even move that far, we moved like 40 minutes down the road, but at that age you have to get your mum to take you to all, you know, if you want to go and visit people and go back and see people, and my mum wasn't keen on the idea very much, so we just sort of lost contact with them. I am friends with some of them on Facebook, but it's been too long now. It's just weird, like I see them getting married and I'm like, oh that's nice, but I wouldn't dream of actually talking to them. What else do we have? Where was your first sleepover? Why are these questions so weird? Where was it? Well, it was in Stoke-upon-Hampton, I think. But it was my friend's house. We were about 12, I want to say, maybe a little bit earlier than that. That's the first one I remember. I imagine I probably had other sleepovers. For example, I know I slept at my friend's house when my sister was born, so I'd have been about 6 then. But the first sleepover that I really remember was going to my friend's house when we watched Dirty Dancing and paused the screen on Patrick Swayze's bum. We thought we were going to get told off for that because her mum came in, but she just laughed and went, oh yes, nice bum, and carried on. I also watched Seven, and I was maybe a little bit young for that film, I think. I was a bit traumatised by it. Oh actually no, I've just remembered I had my own sleepover. I don't know how old I would have been though, but we watched Jumanji and I hated it. I was terrified. Not a fan, so yeah, there we go. I've obviously tried to block that from my memory a little bit because I didn't like that film at all. What was the first thing I did this morning? Worked. I was at work. I probably had a drink. I'll go with that. A drink. I had a drink. What was the first concert I ever went to? Oh, don't judge me. Cliff Richard. It was about 1992, so I'd have been 7, and my mum took me. She wanted to go and see him and I didn't want to miss out on a fun day out, so I went along as well, and to be honest, at that time I did enjoy it. I'm not sure I'd enjoy it now, but at the time. First broken bone. I fractured my collarbone, this one right here, when I was about 4. Fell down some stairs at playgroup because a boy grabbed my hand and I decided I didn't want him to, so I pulled away from him and went tumbling down the stairs and took my best friend with me, and she hurt her knee. It was such a fun day. First piercing would be my ears. Got them both done. Just the bottom one. When I was 13, my aunt took me. And then, I don't know, a few years later I got the next ones up done, and then 1 year I went and got the top one up here done and hid it from my parents underneath my hair for a whole week before they found it. First foreign country I've gone to. The first one I ever went to would be France. Used to go to France probably every year. We used to get the ferry across and then drive the whole way down to the south of France with my sister, who gets travel sick, so it was the most fun journey in the whole world. But yeah, we used to go on holidays to France every year and I actually really liked it. Next question. First movie I remember seeing. One of the first films I remember going to the cinema to see would be Aladdin. I went there for my birthday party one year. But I think probably the first film I would have watched would have been Three Men and a Baby, and I don't know. Oh, we used to watch Lady and the Tramp a lot. I remember watching those as a kid. So yeah, I'm going to go with those two. I'm not sure what came first. When was your first detention? I was about 12. But, no, I did get detentions before that. But in fact, when I was at primary school, my teacher hit me with a ruler and locked me in the boiler cupboard. Can you believe that? I'm not even that old. It wasn't in the Victorian times, for crying out loud. This was like, I don't know, 89 or something. Maybe a little bit older than that, but yeah. What? 1989 and I'm getting trapped in a boiler cupboard? Idiots. But yeah, the first real detention that I got, I was about 12, and I got it because I yawned. The teacher thought I had yawned to be disruptive rather than just because I was tired. He thought I was trying to be rude. And unfortunately the yawn sort of caught on, so he blamed me for everyone being rude when really we were all just tired. Who was my first roommate? I haven't really had a roommate because you don't really do that here. I feel like it's quite an American, you go to college and you have a roommate in the same room, whereas here, we're very British, you tend to have your own room and you share a kitchen and share a living room. Not that I went to university anyway, which is your college. I guess I had a roommate. I had a flatmate. Let's just go with that. I had a flatmate. My first flatmate, I had two in fact. One lived in Tenerife. We shared a place for 3 months. And that would be my friend Heather, who messaged me earlier, and my friend Michelle. So yeah, they were the first people I lived with that weren't my parents, which I think is basically what we're going for. If you had one wish, what would it be? I would like to go back to New York and see Finding Neverland again before the cast changes. I think I probably would need to win the lottery in order to do so, so maybe my wish should just be to win the lottery, but how boring, right? What was the first sport you were involved in? Football? Probably. I used to like playing football a lot when I was a kid. The boys at school did not like me playing football, but I liked playing it. Yeah, I had a few after school clubs, played rugby, netball, rounders, all the usual school things. I also used to like watching tennis. I remember being quite young and watching Wimbledon with my mum. So yeah, but I think probably football because my dad was always obsessed with football. So what was the first thing you do when you get home? Change into my pyjamas. Is that bad? Should I not be announcing that? I just like to be comfy in my house. So yeah, pyjamas. In fact, you're lucky I'm not wearing pyjama bottoms now, quite frankly. When was my first kiss? I was about... How old was I? 13? Quite old, I guess, in terms of what some people are like. Yeah, I think I must have been about 13. Went to an under 18s disco thing in a nearby town with my friend and pulled. I think he was called Ben. Maybe? I don't really remember. It was a long time ago now, I'm quite old. And that was the last question. But yeah, I quite enjoyed that actually. If you have any other tags you think I should do, feel free to tag me. And yeah, I might try and find some other ones. I'm sure there's many out there that I could be doing, and it's quite fun, isn't it? Yeah, so if no one has tagged you and you want to do it, feel free and let me know you've done it, and maybe I'll watch your video as well. Don't really have any YouTube friends, as I said in the beginning, sad face. So yeah, knock yourself out, go and do the tag, just do it anyway, why not, be a rebel. Yeah, I'll do some more soon. I think my next video coming up is probably going to be maybe a book review or something, so keep an eye out for that. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.